again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Keeping It Real with Coach Neal. Alongside the head coach of the UNCW women's soccer program, Chris Neal, I'm Eric Rue. And Coach, you have been through the gauntlet of 5 games in 15 days. Your latest 2 came out on winning fashion, Thursday at Drexel and Sunday at JMU. And before we get into those games, that's a 5-day trip for your team. Give us a little bit of an insight to the trip off the field, like what things you might have done, the excursions that you may have taken, just to lighten up things outside of the games.
Yeah, sure, Eric. Fortunately, we've done this trip before, the exact same trip with the exact same logistics and time frame. So we have that experience to know how to manage it and to keep the players fresh and to give us the best chance to win. So off the field, we were fortunate. UNCW flies us into Philadelphia. It's a trip that logistically doesn't work well to come back from Philadelphia to Wilmington and then bus back to JMU for the Sunday game. So we stayed in Philadelphia on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday night. As soon as we got there, our hotel was right next to the Reading Market, so that was a great place to grab lunch culturally for our team. And I think that's one of the special things about being in this conference is you get to go to some really historical and interesting cities, and you want your team to experience a little bit of that culture. And that's part of the experience, right? Within the context of winning games. So we took them right out of the gates to the Reading Market, and they got that under their belts. And then the day after the game, on Friday morning, we did some active recovery by going to the Rocky Steps and getting a little bit of exercise in there. It's always a fun time. Kids obviously enjoy that moment, get out their phones, and the social media starts popping at the Rocky Steps. But it was a beautiful day. It was actually warm in Philly when we were there. And it was 80 degrees at kickoff on Thursday, so it was a wonderful stretch of weather we got. And then we did some yoga at a little grass area, a little park right next to the Rocky Steps. And then we cut them loose for the day. It's a 5-day trip, like you said. So you've got to have that soccer, life, school, and just psychological balance to all of it. So we gave them their per diem and let them explore the city a little bit. I think most of them averaged about 20,000 steps on Friday, seeing the city. And that just gave them a chance to exhale a little bit before we started focusing again on JMU on the Saturday.
Let's get to the games now. Thursday, 3-2 overtime win against the Dragons, but it didn't come easy. You fall behind 2-0 midway through the first half, and this team hasn't been put in that situation too often this season. So as a coach, how do you keep them looking forward when they're experiencing some adversity like being down by multiple goals?
Yeah, that was a very poor start to that game. Give Drexel a tremendous amount of credit. They came out far more aggressive than we did, and we felt it before the game even kicked off. The coaching staff recognized that we tried to cheerlead our team into readiness. We were highly vocal with them pregame, trying to snap us out of it, but it just had a real lazy feel, and we could not get going. So Drexel jumped all over us. And honestly, I think the experience of being down 2-0 at Northeastern in the spring in that semifinal game still resonates with us. And getting that goal back right before halftime was what really did it for us, Eric. Audrey Harding and Morgan Annie just put the team on their back and got one back for us right before halftime. And that gave us life, because being down 2-0 at Drexel at halftime, I don't think that's hard. So that goal right before halftime really was what did it for us.
You talk about the comeback. You get the goal from Morgan in the 30th minute. Kayla Burrows then cashes in for her first career goal right after the half. And then leave it to Audrey Harding to, as you said, put the team on her back in overtime and score the game winner.
Yeah, really happy for Kayla. That was a wonderfully worked second goal, and the critical piece to that was that it came early in the second half. But, Jordan ate up territory with some stop and goes on the right side. Carrie supported her. Great communication between those two, and Carrie was able to whip in a really dangerous ball. And Maddie Henry, our left side attacking mid, got across that service and effected it. And Kayla just anticipated that it was going to get through, was in the right spot, right time. So that was just a wonderful work second goal. And Audrey has been doing Audrey things lately. Another great free kick service from Hallie Johnson to get that into a dangerous spot. Talia Paris, effected it. And Audrey with a great finish. I think Audrey, in the back of her brain, she had a similar chance against Hofstra that she wasn't happy about. And she wanted to make right on that, and boy, did she ever.
Seahawks come away 3-2 victors on Thursday. You make the trip down to Harrisonburg, and we talked about this in the post-game coverage that James Madison has never been an easy place to play for the Seahawks. 14 previous visits, 1 win. You go out, and unlike Thursday, you come out like gangbusters and score 3 goals in the first 30 minutes, setting the tone early against the Dukes.
We literally went to them before the game, and we said, okay, guys, what kind of start are we going to have today? And we kind of sarcastically challenged them to start this game a little bit better. And boy, did they ever. It was just tactically they executed early on in that game exactly what we wanted. They were ruthless in front of goal in finishing some of the turnovers that they earned in James Madison's half of the field. So just a wonderful, wonderful start to that James Madison match.
End up 3-1 victory there. Just your second win ever at JMU, a very tough place to play, and back-to-back wins in the series. What did you learn about your team this past weekend? You had a tale of 2 games. You had the game where you go and you fall behind, and then you get out early. Probably saw a lot from your team in those 2 contests.
Well, I think that what I'm most pleased about is just some tactical flexibility, because Drexel and JMU, both very good teams, but both very different, going to present different challenges to us. So we had to be a little bit of a chameleon, in both those games in terms of what we provided defensively and attacking-wise. And our team was able to show some extreme tactical flexibility in the approaches to both those road games. That JMU match at 3-0, I'm not comfortable. And that sounds insane to say, but I know how good JMU is and how well they can score and how fast they can score, and not just one, but multiple goals. So I got a lot of flack from a lot of my friends about how animated I was at 3-0, but that's because I have so much respect for that team. And I know that game could have flipped at any moment. So I think that our girls showed a tremendous amount of flexibility, but also durability in some really tough atmospheres.
Let's highlight some of the individuals from this past week. First, we have to talk about Audrey Harding, Conference Offensive Player of the Week, National Player of the Week by College Soccer News, recognized by Top Drawer Soccer, 2 goals, 3 assists. For her, it looks like she's really coming into her stride here late in the season, which has to be a pretty good feeling if you're her head coach.
Yeah, it's a very good feeling. She is a get-out-of-jail-free card at times. When things aren't going your way as a team, Audrey can change a game for you. And historically in this league, the top teams have players like that. So Audrey, I'm just so proud of her. She's come so far since her freshman year in terms of her overall game and the pieces she's added to it. She is a true leader for us on the field, and our team just gets so much enjoyment watching her have fun on the field.
Kayla Burrows, Conference Rookie of the Week, and she picked probably the best time of the year to net her first career goals. 1 goal on Thursday, the tying goal, and then she gets her first career brace, a 2-goal effort, and she gets you out to 2-0 lead before anybody can get settled in the stands. Had to be a pretty good feeling to see that happen too.
Yeah, those 2 together are fun to watch on that left side, and then the 3 of them, Jordan and Audrey and Kayla, when they all 3 get combining, it's pretty special as well. But it was funny, I was having a conversation with Audrey's father after the Drexel game in the hotel, and he said that Kayla reminded him a lot of Audrey when Audrey was a freshman, both physically and how they play, and I would have to agree. So it's the team is having a lot of fun calling Audrey the granny and Kayla the freshie. So it's just fun to see the youth and the experience working together.
Defensively, we saw Blair Barefoot make her first appearances of the season. She came in at halftime of both games and didn't look like any rust or anything. She played well for you in the second half in the overtime against Drexel on Thursday, and then did it again on Sunday.
Yeah, big credit to Sean Donahue, our goalkeeper coach, for having two goalkeepers that are ready at any moment. You know, Blair got hurt early in the year in the preseason, and that set her back for multiple weeks. Blair is a nucleus of our team, both on the field, off the field, spirit-wise, and she understands the dynamics of being a goalkeeper and being a goalkeeper on a team that's playing well. And you don't, philosophically, we don't change our goalkeeper just to change them if things are going well, and we had to find the right moment to inject Blair back into things, and she understands that, and boy, was she ready. And I think that I've told the team this in the past a lot, when you're not playing, sometimes it can be tough, and there's right things to do and wrong things to do when you're not playing. And if you do the right things and you're a good teammate along the way, when you get your chance again, you will succeed. I've seen it over and over and over again. If you don't do the right things, you won't succeed. Blair's the ultimate teammate. She continued to do the right things, and boy, when she got injected in that Drexel game, she made a big impact, some huge saves, and she was a massive part of us getting 3 points on the day. So we're happy that we have found the time to re-inject her into the lineup, and she and Kaylee right now, as a goalkeeping force, are really playing very, very well.
You're now 5-1-0 in the league, and after the results of last week, you're now sitting at the top of the ladder with a 2-point lead over Hofstra, a team that you lost narrowly a week and a half ago. You have 3 games left in the regular season. How important is it for you to have your kids remain focused on what's immediately ahead and not look at the big picture?
There's no other option. Like I said before, this league is relentless. And if you look ahead at all, you will get humbled very quickly. Delaware has been a thorn in our side. That's a team that since we've been here as a coaching staff, we have not beaten. I can assure you that our team will be focused on Delaware, because that is another quality opponent that is extremely dangerous and that tactically we haven't been good enough against in the past few years. So all eyes are certainly on our next match.
You've gone through the gauntlet of 4 of your last 5 games on the road. I think you put something out of 3,500 miles over the last 17 to 20 days. How important is it now to get the rest and to know that 2 of your last 3 games in the regular season are at home, so the travel is all but done with the exception of a trip to Charleston next week?
It's vital, but the challenge is you don't get too stagnant. You got to find rest while staying explosive and mobile. So we're going to have some boutique recovery sessions with different players this week, but that's our job as coaches, is to get everyone ready for that match on Sunday. The bye couldn't have come at a better time for us. We needed it.
That game is at noon on Sunday here at UNCW Soccer Stadium. Tickets available at uncwsports.com/buy tickets. The game will also be on Flow FC. Coach, we wish you the absolute best of luck. We'll chat with you again next week after the Sunday game against Delaware.
Appreciate it.
That'll do it for this edition of Keeping It Real with Coach Neal. For the head coach of the UNCW women's soccer program, Chris Neal, I'm Eric Rue. We do thank you so much for watching, and until we meet again, go Seahawks.